Breakfast. Bible. Bites.
Good morning and welcome to today's Breakfast Bible Bites. I wonder if you've ever felt that you were too young to make a difference. Well, in today's episode, we're going to look at a story from the Bible where a person who is very young made a big difference. And we can read about that in 2 Chronicles chapter 34. Now, our story today is about a man called Josiah. And when Josiah was only 8 years old, he became king of Judah. Now, Josiah's dad was a very bad king and didn't follow God. And Josiah's grandfather was a very bad king and didn't follow God. But Josiah, even though he was very young, he decided that he would follow God and he would do what was right. And when he was very young, he decided that he would try and restore the temple in Jerusalem and restore worship amongst the people. Now, King Josiah sent men to the temple to bring out the money so that they could pay the people who were working on the temple. And while they were looking for this, the high priest found the book of the law. Now, this is the law that Moses had received from God, and the people of Israel had followed, and God commanded the Israelites to follow and obey the law. But it seems that the law had got lost, and the high priest found it in the temple. Now, the high priest came, and he brought the law to King Josiah. And when the high priest read the law to King Josiah was very upset. You see, for many years, the Israelites had abandoned God's law. They didn't worship him, and they worshipped false gods. And when Josiah heard the law and everything that God said, he was very sad. But Josiah went and found a prophetess, and she told Josiah that God was pleased that he had found the law, and that God was pleased that he had decided to follow him. Now, King Josiah gathered all the people of Israel together, and he read to them the book of the law that had been found, and he told the people of Israel that as king he was going to follow the law of God, and that all the people were going to follow the law as well. So even though he was young when he became king, he decided to follow God and to worship him. And he found the book of the law, and he told the people to worship God as well. And Josiah got all the people together, and they took all the false gods that were made of wood and stone, and they burnt them all and got rid of them. And he brought all the Israelites back into a true worship of God. Now, King Josiah was only 8 when he became king, and he was only 16 when he really started to change the land. But even though he was young, God used him as a good king to bring the right worship of God back to the nation. And through Josiah, all the false gods and the false worship was done away with. And not only that, but the law of God that had been lost had been found. So the people could read the law and know how God wanted to be worshipped, and how the people were to live. Now, you may think, just because you're young, you might not be able to do big, important things. But just like King Josiah, God can use us to show people Jesus, to show people the Bible. You might be the only person in your class or school who knows about God and knows what the Bible says. And God might use you to share with the people in your school who God is, what the Bible says, and how we are to live. You see, the book of the law had been lost, but King Josiah brought it out and read it to the people. And God might use us, even though we're young, to tell other people what the Bible says. So that's today's Breakfast Bible Bites, and we'll see you next week. Bye.